What's up? I'm Lisa. I reached 10k followers on TikTok within 30 days. So I'm going to show you how I did that, and I will be using a cooking metaphor throughout this entire video just because I felt like cheesecake. Let's get into it. The first thing is choosing your niche. So as with anything business, they always say that you don't want to try to cater to everybody all at once. If you're putting out content based on cooking, based on skincare, based on exercise, based on whatever, it's a lot for people to comprehend and sort of understand what you're offering them. Going for the niche also tells people what they should be following you for. At first, people don't know who you are, so that personal branding hasn't been established. And so you can't go out there like the big people on TikTok or on just social media who can just post, whatever they're just doing on a day-to-day basis. Them cooking, them cleaning. You don't have that sort of traction yet. So in my opinion, and the way that I went about it was I knew that delivering valuable content was the way I wanted to go, because that would give people reason to follow me. And then eventually I would start broadening out the topics as my audience gets to know me. So rather than trying to make a whole bunch of desserts all at one time, I'm just going to focus on making the one dessert and doing it well. And in the sense of the cooking metaphor, we today will be choosing, are you focusing? Yeah, sure. Bar's cheesecake. So my first video was based on how I got 97.25. And the reason why I did the ATAR is because I've specialized in the ATAR. I have a private tutoring and study guide business, and I knew that specializing in the ATAR, which is what Australian students study, is a very specific niche. And I knew that if I could create content for these students or people who've gone through the ATAR, then there'd be that immediate connection. And from there, I'd be able to churn out a couple of more ATAR-based videos and then start moving into more broader topics, which I'll talk about in a little bit. When preparing to make your recipe or TikTok, you need to get all the ingredients together. Your ingredients make up your TikTok profile, such as your bio and your username. Choosing all the right ingredients can mean that you serve up something that TikTokers will love. But remember that not all ingredients are born equal either. The camera didn't focus here, but I've said no to the generic brand, which is like doing the bare minimum for your TikTok profile. And I've gone for the premium Philadelphia brand of cream cheese for quality effort, so that when I serve up my dessert, I've got the best chances of people loving my creation. In this sense, ingredients aren't born all equal. If you just slap in a bio with little thought, it probably won't end up working as hard for you as it potentially could. If you spend time crafting a quality bio, think about the marketing funnel you want, such as what type of links you want in your bio, which socials you want to link to, and you'll be more likely to welcome people into your ecosystem in the interwebs, such as the rabbit hole of Lisa Tran, or purchasing one of my products, or joining my mailing list.
There must be something that.
So in order to know what to put into your link in bio, you need to understand your purpose. And this is where I feel like I can really help, because I thought about this long and hard, and I feel like my investment in thinking about the purpose has really paid off. Essentially, when it comes to purpose, you just want to think about, why are you doing this? Why are you creating this recipe? Why are you creating this deliciousness of a dessert that you want to serve up to people? For me, it sounds super lame, but I love educating others. I've been a tutor for the longest time, and I just love sharing information that I've learned along the way in my 30 years of life, and sharing that with people who are younger than me, because I feel like if they're able to gain that knowledge sooner than I did and learn from the mistakes that I didn't know back then that's sort of my job done well. That's why my bio is the older sister that you've always wanted. No BS here. The no BS I thought was also important, because I wanted people to see an authentic side of me, where I also admit my wrongdoings and my faults in the past, and to share them with people so that they know not to do the mistakes that I did. Why are you creating this recipe? Why are you creating this deliciousness of a dessert that you want to serve up to people? Is it because you want to educate them on something? Is it because you want to make people laugh? Is it because you want to share something, like share the behind the scenes of your business? I think without that purpose, you'll also lose yourself when it comes to finding that niche that we talked about earlier in this video. I think a lot of people will do that kind of scattergun approach where you just try all sorts of different things, and we'll talk about experimentation in a moment. I think having a really clear purpose is important, not for the people that you're attracting, but also for yourself. It's a simple business mantra that people always talk about when you first get started in business, and it's that you need to have a purpose, you need to have a vision for yourself, because defining that, writing that down, and having a very very clear image is going to help fast track you along the way. Whereas if you're not really sure what you're doing, you're just going to bumble back and forth between different things. And trust me, I have been there, and it's just one, not a nice feeling for the soul, because you're just like, I have no idea what the F is going on. But also two, when you don't really have a clear purpose or goals, then once you sort of achieve like a milestone, or once something happens, you can't appreciate it for what it's worth, because it wasn't part of this vision, it wasn't part of this purpose that you had set out for yourself necessarily. Okay, I'm going to beat the cream cheese now. Should have left it to room temperature, but you know, the girl's busy. I have other things to do, so ain't nobody got time to wait. So as I do this little montage of me baking, I want you to think about, what is your purpose? Why are you serving people on TikTok?
to see it. There must be something that features. You'll find the beauty goes.
Oh God, miso, no. If my mom sees this, she's gonna kill me for having miso on the kitchen bench table. So a CTA is basically a call to action, and again, you'll notice that I'm using a lot of business talk just because, yeah, I'm a business owner, and so I've transferred a lot of the skills over to creating my TikTok. I'll always have at the end of my videos, follow me if you want more sassy older sister advice. And the idea is that by the time they see that and they liked my video and they want to see more of me, they go into my bio and they see that purpose written right there in front of them. The older sister you've always wanted, no BS here. So it reconfirms for them, yep, what you're interested in is what I'm offering. Go ahead and follow me and follow and watch all of my videos. And also, by the way, if you're not following me, feel free to if you'd like some older sassy sister advice. Feels so awkward asking people to follow me, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Adding the cream. And just like that, we have a series of ingredients that we're adding into our TikTok recipe. When it comes to anything related to business or anything related to TikTok, everything comes down to experimentation. All you have when you first start something is your brain. You have all these ideas about what you think is going to work, and of course everything is a brilliant idea, but we never know until we put it out into the world and actually get people to test out our desserts and get them to give us feedback. And if they're not giving us feedback and our videos aren't getting any traction, then it probably means that there's something wrong with our videos, and then we need to keep reworking the recipe, keep redefining those different ingredients so that we can continue to work towards the most amazing bust cheesecake ever. By the way, I'm so sorry if this analogy is like super forced. I'm trying really hard here, okay? Rather than making a standard bust cheesecake as I normally would, I've got a 12 cupcake holder here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to experiment with different flavors. So I'm going to separate each of the 4 columns, oops, I accidentally wrote rows, into different content pillars or flavors. The flavors I've chosen are original, tartaric, matcha, and hojicha. These different flavors act like our content pillars, where each pillar revolves around a selected theme or idea you're interested in. For example, the content pillars I have for my TikTok are Asia and study advice, careers, beauty, and entrepreneurship. If you're familiar with Asian flavors, you know how good all of these are. Okay? And if you don't, time to get cultured. I'm not really following a recipe here, but I think I've baked enough to kind of know what I'm doing. I'm gonna use this small bowl, and I'm gonna take a portion from the big cheesecake batter that we made, put it in here, mixing the different flavors, and then create a row for each of those flavors. Flavors. Now, the reason why having different content pillars is important is because 1, it helps you not run out of ideas. 2, it helps you stay interested in the things that you're talking about. Believe me, I have been in the position where all I have talked about is just the standard ATA. And that was essentially what my channel used to be. And been following me, then you'll probably notice somewhat of a change that's happened recently. And it's because I don't want to be pigeonholed anymore into just one type of content and to be only known for that. So for me, I knew it was really important from the get-go that I wanted to have these different content pillars so that I could, 1, help myself out, you know, like actually be proud of what I'm putting out there, be interested in the content that I'm putting out there. 2, it also broadened out the type of audience that I would attract. So rather than only attracting students, I would hopefully be able to attract university students, people even older than that, professionals, just people who wanted to follow me for me's sake. I'm adding tartaric into this now. I'm just going to start mixing it in. Then what I'm going to do as I'm experimenting with this is I'm going to taste test it just to make sure that that tartaric flavor does come out. Yeah, could do with more. The point with the taste testing is that you're actually testing out how these particular videos are performing on your profile. You can basically just keep testing your content ideas until you've settled on ones that you know perform well on your profile. If you're somebody who is going, oh, I want to do all sorts of things, I want to be that person who vlogs about my life, shows off my cooking, shows off my gardening and all that, and you don't know where to start with your niche. Choose 2, 3, 4, even 5 content pillar ideas and try to stick with them. If you've chosen cooking and cooking just doesn't perform as your other content ideas, then eventually you can swap it out and try another flavor. Yes, got that analogy in. Let's move on to my next point, which is broadening out your topics. Let's just say with the flavors, we kind of come to a place where we know which topics work for us. I think only then should you start broadening out into different topics. I think audiences like to know what they're going to get with a certain creator, and if you start jumping ship too fast, too soon, it can alienate a lot of your old subscribers. So with flavor contamination, we don't want that here. But if any of your topics sort of cross-pollinate with one another, then it could be cool for you to create a video where you introduce a new topic but still stay on the topic that you know is working for you. So another good example is, say, if I do a video based on entrepreneurial advice and I talk about how my mindset has been really important, that video could potentially lead into a content pillar that's more about mindfulness, that's more about like self-development. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, get creative with it. All right, we are now onto our last row of topics. We're gonna make this hojicha. Yay, so here are my final 4 different flavors. We've got standard, teh tarik, matcha, and hojicha. Looks like they turned out pretty well, just like my TikTok videos. So in this section, let's talk about replying to comments. I will take time to try to reply to every single comment out there. If I don't reply to a comment, it's usually because I don't really know what to say. But most of the time, I will try to reply to comments because I think that helps build that connection with your audience, and it also gives me more ideas to use for future videos. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comment section below. And if you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe. And by the way, this is way too many cupcakes for me, and plus there's no one here to eat them with me. So if you'd like to come over, my address is 11